Here with my good friend Dave Reynolds, waterfowler extraordinaire. Dave, I wanted to talk about one aspect of waterfowl hunting that a lot of guys don't give a lot of time. They put all kinds of time into their boat, the motor, their decoys, their clothing, their gun, everything. But they really go to a store and buy whatever shot shell happens to be on sale. And I'd love to talk about maybe some practical ways a guy can, figure out what his gun is doing at the target so he has proper selection of both choke and or shot shell. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, well, that is one thing hunters really overlook, and that is, shooting their shotgun before the season and determining just what kind of pattern their shotgun is throwing. No two shotguns are alike. They all have different personalities. They pattern differently with different choke constrictions.
Right.
And, keep it simple. Just go out, get a piece of paper, shoot at it, and you can determine how your gun is shooting with a particular choke, particular shot shell, and it's pretty obvious. You can see whether you're going to hit a duck or not. You want a nice even pattern with a good core density. It takes half an hour to go out and try your different favorite loads, different chokes, and once you have one nailed in, shoot that load and shoot it all season long.
Right. So one thing I've seen guys do, I've seen like the more formal patterning where you shoot a pattern, use a transparent disc to cover the center of the pattern and count the number of pellets and determine pattern density. Are you talking about something like that or something more simple?
No, not that in depth. Those guys will count the number of pellets within a 30-inch circle, divide it by the number of shot in the shot shell, and come out with a pattern density. For example, full choke's usually about 70%. Improved mod is 65, improved is about 50. I'm just talking about putting a piece of paper out at 40 yards, taking your favorite loads, shooting them at the piece of paper, and just walking over, look at the pattern. Look and see what kind of pattern your shotgun is throwing with different chokes. Try improved cylinder, improved mod, the choke constrictions you're going to use throughout the season. It's that simple. You don't have to go that in depth.
Dave, is there a particular brand that you think is better than another or one that you recommend over another?
Well, personally, yes, for my own shotgun. I couldn't recommend anybody else what brands to use because they may have different results through their gun, through their choke tubes. There's so many aftermarket choke tubes on the market. There's so many variables. You really just have to go out and try your own gun. I know what works on mine. It's up to the hunter to determine what works best with their shotgun.
Dave, one of the things I know that like a sporting clay shooter in particular, competitive sporting clay shooter will really focus on is shot size versus choke tube and all that stuff and how those two correspond. And a lot of those guys will shoot an over and under with different chokes, or they'll shoot an auto with a single choke but vary their shot size. Do you have any thoughts about that and recommending a load for ducks?
I would shoot different loads. Try maybe some 3s, some 4-shot, different brands, maybe Expert, Kent, Fast Steel, perhaps. And your shotgun will tell you pretty quickly what will pattern the best. You may find that after the last 10 years you've been using number 3 shot with a modified choke. You may find shooting a number 3 with a improved cylinder, you'll get a better pattern. And you should really consider going to that shot size, that constriction. I think you'll be very surprised on the results if you actually look and see what your shotgun is throwing out, what kind of pattern it's throwing out.
Okay, Dave, so we shot a few patterns and had some kind of surprising results. Probably found out some things about that particular shotgun that neither of us would have expected.
Oh, very surprising. Within a half hour, we determined that cylinder choke actually patterns best with that shotgun, number 2 shot. And who would think of that for a waterfowl load? Typically modified, improved cylinder. You'd never think to shoot a cylinder, and had the most uniform patterns with that choke tube. So it was definitely an eye-opener. I'll tell you another thing. We have a 20-25 mile steady wind today, and there was quite a bit of drift of that shot charge.
Yep.
Just a 20-mile-an-hour wind, so that tells you all the more you have to lead on those windy days.
Very true.